Duke and UNC for the 200th and something time. I had the number right in front of me. 268th time these two have faced off, and for this time it was to go to the next round against Virginia and play for the championship here in Brooklyn, and these two did not disappoint from both a storyline standpoint and an excitement standpoint. It came down to the final possession. Grayson Allen on the left wing down 3 after a crazy series of passes ended up being a turnover for Theo Penson, right about where I am right here on the out of bounds line. Reached for it. Grayson Allen had 4 fouls at that point, so Allen's standing right there with 12 seconds left. Could have fouled them. Penson's juggling for the ball on the sideline and ends up dropping it out of bounds as UNC was trying to get the ball up court through Duke's traps. They went to the press late in this one and ended up getting a final shot off on the left wing. Grayson Allen tried to get 2 ball screens on either side, do an up fake as he said, and get his man the jump, but he didn't. They switched, Coach K said, and Allen ended up getting a very poor shot up that didn't even hit the rim. It hit like the side of the backboard, I think, or right along the rim. Either way, they didn't make it. They lose 74-69, and UNC is on to the championship game. Currently a 2 seed in March Madness. They might be a 1 seed, especially if they're able to top the #1 team in the country, Virginia. We have one of the best offenses in the country going against the best defense in the country. And Coach K didn't have a problem with the zone. It looked like UNC was very comfortable passing to that back line, controlling the back line of the court. There were a number of balls right on the back line under the rim that UNC was able to keep in play and make great plays around the rim. Turnovers and offensive rebounds decided this one, Coach K said. And Luke May in particular was a monster in that area, grabbing offensive boards, finishing inside. He had 10 rebounds, 17 points, I believe, and his game was phenomenal today. On one play underneath, someone on Carolina tossed the ball in bounds to Pinson on the floor. He threw it to Johnson, who laid it up and in. Just sensational control along the back line. Consistent throughout this game. Not something you think about too often, but it showed big time tonight for Carolina, who won the turnover game by a convincing margin too. Any number of those plays could have been turnovers. And instead, Duke has 18, Carolina has 13. They limit those. They out-rebound Duke. They did not out-rebound Duke. They out-rebounded Duke in the offensive rebound category, 18-12. That was it. Crazy game. And it didn't. None of it got any crazier than 30-27 in the first half. Coach K said this could not decide the game, but it definitely swung it in a direction that did not go in their favor. That's what I'll call it. And DA called it the butt bump in our other video. We talked to him right after the game. And that's pretty much what it was. Allen was coming around an elbow, dribbling up into the high post area. Carter was underneath. He tried feeding it into Carter, but he was covered. Takes a shot, misses. He's standing at half court after as Carolina's running the other way. Kenny Williams ends up scoring on that play. And Johnson's coming behind him, Cameron Johnson, and I don't know what else to say. Grayson Allen just stuck his butt out, hip-checked him, and Johnson goes flying into the floor. Meanwhile, plays going on the other side of the court. One of the refs was standing in the half court, but still looking back at what happened between Allen and Johnson. Williams scores. Right after that, the ref points over to the other ref. They have a small conversation, and they go to the replay board, review it. They call it flagrant 1 on Allen after the basket, so the basket counts. They get 2 free throws. I believe they split those, and then they get another possession on top of that. And going into halftime, Carolina built a convincing lead that they'd hold throughout most of the second half off that play. So reaction after the game. On the podium, Joel Berry, Theo Pinson said they have no problem with Allen. Berry was actually joking with him at half court, said he's got to watch himself because they're going to call those on him. He didn't think it was much of anything. But inside the Carolina locker room. According to one reporter in the press conference, there was a thought expressed that it was intentional. So he asked Grayson Allen about that, and Coach K stepped in and said definitively, pointedly, that type of play happens all the time in the post. There's fouls throughout the game. You don't want any of them to occur, but they do. And his excuse was that happens in the post all the time. It's not called, but it happened out in open court this time. So the fact that it was Allen, the fact that it was out in the open court, seemed to emphasize it according to them. But either way, Carolina, dominant fashion, controlled this game throughout most of the second half. Luke May was awesome. Theo Pinson was in a tough battle in those front lines, but Carolina's front line really held control in this one. Duvall went down early in the game with a leg injury, his right leg. X-rays were negative, Coach K said, but he was a little hobbled throughout much of this game after he returned. And now he's going to move on. Carter's a little banged up, but Coach K said they do enjoy how their team played in this tournament. Did not see a problem with his zone tonight. They got used to the back-to-back starts when you're not certain when you're going to play. I thought that was interesting, the fact that guys aren't used to those neutral sites, multiple games played on the same court. You don't know when you're going to be going. You have a short window where you have to be ready to jump right into action, and they did that here today, but lost. Said they could have played better, but they're on to the tournament nonetheless and definitely have a team that could be poised to go all the way. But UNC, maybe we underrated them a little bit. Their defense was a bigger issue earlier in this year, and now it looks like it could be a strength of this team, the way they defended today. Roy Williams was big on that in the post-game conference. He had been looking for them to defend, and they finally did here, as well as attack the zone very well today, I thought. I asked Theo Pinson if the Syracuse game, playing against that zone, prepared them any better at all for this one. He said that just seeing the zone, getting the passes in against it, getting a feel for it throughout the season as they have. They did play Syracuse twice. They, of course, played Duke twice. That gave them an edge today. They had experience against the zone, and they dominated here today. UNC and UNC and Virginia are going to face off tomorrow night at 8:30 here. There are two teams left, and we will have one standing at the end as ACC champion. It won't be Duke as it was last year. It'll be the UNC or Virginia. We'll see you tomorrow with more videos here. Check out our interview with DA right after the Duke-UNC game, also available on the CLNS Media YouTube channel, and we'll look into the pack line defense that UNC is going to face tomorrow as well with a Virginia reporter. I'm Bobby Manning. Fourth day out here in Brooklyn. Feeling good. We'll see you tomorrow night.